Ripple forward into your tabletop position. Tuck the toes and find a gentle downward facing dog. Start by establishing the long flat spine. So bend the knees and reach your tailbone towards the ceiling. Open the shoulders by reaching your chest towards your thighs, but tuck the front ribs in as if you were tucking a shirt into your pants to avoid that extension through the front. From here, pedal one heel down towards the floor, alternate by the other. Feeling that stretch down the back of the legs. Keep the head heavy between the arms. Take that pedaling motion and start to walk to the top of the mat. Foot length at a time, try and land your heel first. Bring your big toes together, heels just apart. Bend your knees deeper so you can really relax your whole torso across the front of your thighs. Hands in your ragdoll position, holding onto your opposite elbow. Some people like to add a little sway here. This is all about draping the torso forward and finding length in the spine, much more than it is about straightening the knees and finding a deep hamstring stretch right now. Gently release your hands. Bend the knees and roll yourself to standing. Inhale the arms forwards and up. Exhale, bend the knees, soften your chest, and lead yourself into a forward fold. Take your halfway lift. Go down to come up like you're sneaking under a fence, and then come back to where you came. Twice more like that. Reach through the top of the head, and then exhale, melt your body back over the front of your thighs. Last time here, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into your high plank. Big breath in to stay. Exhale into your chaturanga, and you can drop the knees here. First, upward facing dog. Lift your kneecaps off the mat, reach your chest forwards. Downward facing dog, send the hips back. Full breath in here. Bend your knees as you exhale, look towards your hands. Step up or jump to the top of the mat and really relax your head down. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Through a flat spine this time, come all the way to standing. Reach your arms above your head. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Once more like that. Inhale, arms forwards and up. Exhale, all the way down. Just one halfway lift. Lead through the head to inhale. Exhale into your high plank. Stay with your inhale. Keep the shoulders over your wrists. Exhale into your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale, send the hips back. Full breath in here. Exhale, bend the knees, look where you're going to go. Step up or jump on the empty. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Through a flat spine, come all the way up, breathing in. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Beautiful. From here, bend your knees into a chair pose, and we're sending the weight back into the heels rather than into the toes this time. Reach your arms forward and lift your chest in that direction. On your exhales, sink your hips behind you. And on your inhales, lift your chest just that little bit further. Take a full breath in. Stay with your exhale. Inhale, come up to standing. We're going to lift our right knee with us into a stork pose. And then scoot it over the top of your left thigh into an eagle pose. Beautiful. Now, some of you might have a full bind, and you can wrap that right ankle around the back of the left calf. If balance is a real issue for you, you can press that right foot down beside your left. From here, bring your left arm in front of you. Wrap your right arm underneath, find a full bind. Full breath in here. Exhale, try and sink into the back of your hips. Inhale, unravel everything. Lift your right knee up. Step back into a crescent lunge. So staying high on the ball of the back foot. Take a full breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to bend your back knee and open the arms like a cactus. Inhale back to your crescent lunge. Any amount of a back bend as you exhale. Inhale back up. Last time here, exhale. Inhale back to your crescent. Now from here, you're going to move the chest and the arms forward like you're moving into an arrowhead, but transfer the weight into the front foot until your right leaves the floor. So finding a warrior 3, and don't worry if you need to rearrange yourself. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest like a cobra. Keep your back leg as active as your underneath leg, as if you were standing on another floor. Now from here, you can bring your left hand to the floor, or a bolster or a block. Or you can keep it floating, and what we're going to do is open your right hip on top of your left and find yourself in a half moon. If you're holding onto the floor, you might need to bend your underneath leg, but the key here is to try and stack your right hip on top of your left. Take a few moments here. Deepen the breath, try and slow that heart rate. If you are willing and able, bring your right heel towards your right glute. Hold on to the front of the ankle. And then open that foot into a full Shavasana. Wherever you are, slowly release. Bring your right hand down towards the floor. Lower your right leg all the way back behind you. And then just shuffle your left foot so you're back into a lizard lunge. Nice. Drop your back knee. Take a moment here. Left hand onto the inner left knee. Use that leverage to open it away, and you can really roll onto the whole outer left foot here. Beautiful. Slowly bring that back in. I'm going to spend 3 rounds of breath here. If you want to, you can move onto the elbows, or you can stay up onto the wrists. Feeling that opening the front of the left hip and that outer rolling of the left thigh. If you're on your elbows, slowly come back up. Engage your back leg. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, send that left foot back and lower into your chaturanga. Inhale into your upward facing dog. Exhale into your downward facing dog. 2 rounds of breath here. Relax your head. Sink your heels down towards the floor. Take a big breath in here. Lift up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look to where you're going to go. On the empty, step up or jump and relax your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Through a flat spine, come all the way up. And bring your hands to your heart center. Big breath in. Sit your hips down. Feel the weight transfer into the heels. Drop the tailbone down towards the floor to eliminate that extra curve in the lower spine. Reach your chest up as you breathe in. And then sit behind yourself as you exhale. Take one more full round of breath here. Next inhale, we're going to come to standing, bring your left knee with you. Sit down into your eagle pose. So you're crossing your left thigh over the top of your right. Taking your left arm in front of you, your right arm underneath. Full breath in. Sink into your hips as you exhale. One more full round of breath here. And Next, big breath in, unravel everything. And send that left leg back into your crescent lunge. Try and land it slowly with control. Inhale to stay, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your left knee, catch the elbows behind you. Inhale back up. Exhale, soften your right knee forwards. Inhale back up. Last time here. Inhale, bring your body up. Start to travel your arms forwards like an arrowhead. Keep pushing the weight into your front foot and you'll float the back leg up. Roll your shoulders back. Keep reaching your fingers behind you to lift the chest. Ever so slowly, start to rotate your left hip on top of your right for your half moon. Now your arms can be where you like. Sometimes keeping your left hand on your hip is easier. If your balance is a bit wobbly, look towards the floor rather than towards the ceiling. If you get it on the first side, bend your left knee in. Hold onto the front of the left ankle and try and push that foot into your hand to open. Take a full breath in. Slowly release as you exhale. Bring your left hand down to the floor and land that left leg back into your lizard lunge. Beautiful. Rearrange your front right foot so it's wide and bring your hands onto the inside of the thigh. I like to relax the back toes. I feel I can be further in front of that kneecap. 3 rounds of breath here. You can use your right hand to open that right thigh, coming onto the elbow, or you can step onto the wrists. And then 3 more rounds of breath, keeping the body straight and just focusing on sinking the hips down towards the floor. Your right knee is traveling out and your left knee feels like it's scooping back behind you. Coming up onto your hands. Extend the back leg. Take a full breath in. In one motion, exhale, take your right leg back, bend into your chaturanga. Inhale, halfway lift, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Stay for your exhale. Inhale onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look where you're going to go. Step up or jump and relax your body down. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Do a flat spine, come all the way up. Big breath out. Now we're going to do that once more in flow. So it'll be a quicker series, less breaths per movement. So here we go. Inhale, bend the hips down. Exhale, sink the hips behind you. Inhale, right knee up into your stalk. Exhale into your eagle pose. Keep your hands in front of you this time. Inhale back into your stalk. Exhale into your crescent lunge. Take a full breath in here. Exhale, just one bend at the back knee. Squeeze your shoulders behind you. Inhale, forwards and up. Exhale, tip forward into your warrior 3. Hands onto your hips, float your left hand down for your half moon. And then from here, straight into a warrior 2. Bend your front knee, land your back foot at a 45-degree angle. Reach your arms out to the side. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, back to your warrior 2. Flying warrior, bring both hands up. Pivot your front foot so it's matching your right. And then forward fold over your wide feet. That's it. Holding onto your outer ankles. If your head's touching the floor, bring your feet in just a little more. Beautiful. Take a full breath in here. Keep tipping the weight forward into your toes as you exhale. Hands come back onto your hips. Come all the way back to standing. Bend your knees for your goddess pose. So knees go out, heels come in. Full breath in. Maybe a little bit deeper as you exhale. Inhale back to your warrior two. So your left toes at the front of the mat now. Exhale and stay. Flip the front palm. One last reverse. Bring both hands to the top of the mat. Bring your left foot into your plank. Exhale into your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 rounds of breath here. Full breath in. Big sigh out as you exhale. Inhale, lift up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. See where you're going to land. Make it happen. Soften your head down. Halfway lift. Forward fold. All the way to standing. Reach through the crown of your head. Sighing out the mouth. And release. Last time on the left side. Bend the knees for chair pose. Empty out and sink the hips down. Left knee lifts for stork pose. Eagle pose. Just rest your hands in front of your heart center. Stork pose. Land into your crescent lunge. Big breath in. One bend of the back knee. Reach the chest up. Inhale, arms come forwards. Exhale into your warrior three. Tip your weight forwards. Moving into your half moon. Rotate your left hip on top of your right. Bend your right knee straight away and land in your warrior two. Beautiful. Flip the front palm. Inhale and reverse. Exhale and return. Flying warrior, arms go up. Pivot your right foot forwards and then forward fold over wide. Again, rearrange your position if your head is too close, or if you're very, very high and you need more width, make your feet wider on the mat. Keep tipping your weight forwards. Relax your head. Bring your hands to your hips, come all the way to standing. Rearrange back into your warrior two. Flip the front hand, inhale and reverse. Both hands to the front of the mat. Move into your high plank. Last chaturanga, bend your elbows beside your ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 rounds of breath here. This time as you look towards your hands, start to trail your right knee towards your right wrist for a pigeon pose. Re-relax your left leg down. And here your cushion might come in handy. If your right hip is very high off the floor, insert something between your bum and your floor so you can re-relax that right hip down. If you have any knee problems in that front knee, bring that right heel closer to your body. If you want a deeper stretch, then take that right foot further away from you, more parallel to the front of the mat. Beautiful. And then from here, any amount of a forward fold is totally optional and if it's available. The hips are, like I said before, it is the strongest joint in the body. It is so constricted with muscle and ligament and tissue that it takes its time to release. So enter with a lot of patience and find that slower breath. So on each exhale, you can find a little more softness in the joint, a little bit more weight in the torso. Now the hips are also the holders of the sacral chakra, and those energies contain that of security and the fight and flight instincts. So sometimes when we're in these deep hip openers, it can bring up strong emotions. And that is just something to be aware of if you have a strong emotional reaction, that it's quite natural to have those feelings come to the surface as we open this part of the body. Take 3 more full rounds of breath here. Finding that softness in the belly. Use your hands to come out of the position. Sink into that right hip and swing your left leg all the way around. Tuck that left ankle around the other side of your right knee. Sink your left hip back down into the mat. Yes. Use your right hand to hug the left knee in towards your chest and start to twist around the corner. My left hand becomes a second spine behind me, like I'm wrapping around a pole behind me. Get taller as you rinse around the corner. Slowly come back to center. If this is available to you, taking fire log pose, so your left heel is stacked directly on top of your right knee and your left knee directly on top of your right heel. This can often look a bit like this as well. So if it's so uncomfortable that you're not going to get a stretch out of it, come back into your cross-leg pose. From there, any amount of forward fold can create quite an intense stretch. So start by bowing the head and finding a curved position. Again, once you find that edge of the stretch, then just hold and take a couple of breaths to really relax that nervous system. And then you can allow a bit more movement if it's available to you. And this is much more in the rotation of the hips than it is in the deep, big muscles. A couple more rounds of breath here. Try and relax the top of the head, find length in the back of the neck. And roll yourself up. Beautiful. Relax the legs so they're crossing at the ankles. Tip yourself forward, and just as a transition, come through a downward facing dog. You can take a moment to pedal out the feet if you need a bit more of a rinse through the body. Take a full breath in here. Then as you exhale, draw your left knee forward, finding pigeon pose on the other side. Remembering that the left and right side of the body isn't perfectly symmetrical. So if you find a bit more stiffness presenting itself on one side more than the other, then don't panic. If you need a cushion under that left hip, place it there. Rearrange your angle of the knee so it suits you. And then making your way slightly deeper into the pose. Now in these longer hold positions, you want to find as much heaviness in the body as you can so that the weight of the body is doing the work rather than the tension and the pulling of the muscles. If you imagine a muscle contracted is not likely to stretch. So we want to find the relaxed state to allow the stretch to happen. If your head is not close to the floor, stacking the fists in front of you and laying the forehead on top of the fists is a really great way to take the tension out of the neck, because the head is obviously a heavy limb. Become aware of what thoughts are trickling to the surface of the mind. And on each exhale, just brush them to the side. I'm going to take 3 more rounds of breath here. Perhaps you find that you have a little bit more range of motion now that you know the end is near. Perhaps consider, if you were holding back, what for. Slowly roll yourself up. Sitting onto that left hip, swing your right leg all the way around. Cross the left ankle over the side of right ankle over the side of your left knee. Sit that whole right hip down, so both sit bones are firmly planted. Left hand comes around the front of your right knee. Start to rinse around the corner while hugging that knee close to you. Keep the collarbones broadening apart and the eyes following the head around the corner. Get taller as you rinse around the corner. Take a full breath in at the top. Slowly release back towards the front. Beautiful. Unwrap the legs enough that you can cross the ankles over the knees into your fire log position. Again, left and right is different, so this might be available for you on this side, perhaps, and not the other. Flexing the ankles will protect the joints a little more, especially in the knee if they're likely to twist around the corner. From here, drop the chin towards the chest. Start to roll through the body. Notice where that point of resistance pops up for you, and then just stay there for a couple of breaths. We're going to spend 2 more rounds of breath here. Try and relax your arms so you're not holding yourself off the floor. Roll yourself up. Take the weight back enough to extend the legs forward. We're going to lie down on our back, so shuffle yourself into a position so that your whole body will be on the mat. Take your feet to the width of the mat and a gentle windscreen wiper of the knees left to right to rinse out the hips. Reach your legs towards the ceiling. Bend the knees wide for your happy baby. Relax your shoulders wide on the mat. Take a full breath in. Try and flatten that spine onto the mat as you breathe out. Last full round of breath here. Slowly release the legs long as you exhale. Let your